Hi, Callie. How are you? Trying to get my computer to start up. I'm having some technical difficulties. Hi, Ems. How are you? Hi, Anna Mary. Oh, what a day. Hi, YouTube Observer. How are you? So I think my live was originally set to 7:40, but that was a complete accident. I wanted to go live now. Whoops. Hey, Case. Hi, Robin. How are you? I need a new computer. This one sucks. I've got so much junk accumulated in this computer. It runs so slow. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Hey, Alicia. How are you? Hey, Texas Kim. Hi, Romad. So how are you guys today? Oh, Kim, thank you. Um, I wanted to talk about a couple different things. So I guess there was a live last night, whatever, and it was put on private. I guess there was a lot of things being said in this live, and I want to talk about it. Hey, Truth. Hey, Breaking the Silence. Amanda T. Galway. I wanted to talk about it. Like, I'm basically like a lone wolf. I do love Tracy, but I'm not like a part of like any little side. So when I talk about this, I really don't care who gets mad at me. I just don't care anymore. I'm not trying to fit in. I'm not trying to be a part of any groups. I don't care anymore. Like, you know, when Dave the Fisherman says that we're all down in the bottom of YouTube, we basically are at the bottom of the barrel because, like, I say that because, I've heard some clips of things that was said last night, and I don't know, like, it's got me feeling some kind of way. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm kind of upset. I'm disgusted that there's creators out there that talk the way they do, and there's legit people in the chat cheering it on. I'm disgusted that there's creators that can literally say, how about I bash your head in and stick a big dildo down and up your ass? And people praise that. It's sad that a creator literally said, hold on, let me add Miss Tracy. Hey, darling.
Hey guys, how are you all?
I'm really upset, Tracy. Like, this has bothered me all day. I wasn't gonna go live about it, but I mean, if nobody else is, I'm going to. I'm gonna call it out. I don't care anymore. Like, when you're sitting there talking about taking a brick and smashing it into the back of someone's head, or saying you're going to go to another country just so you can harm someone, that's pretty disgusting. Like, that's where we're at now. It Where's your couth?
Hello, Amanda T.
Why are people paying
Ugh.
these people to act like that? Why are we making physical threats now? Why are we threatening creators to go to other countries just so we can harm them? I don't get it. And why are people laughing about this in a chat? Why do they think that's so funny? I know why. It's because they hate a certain creator. So they've all joined forces to bash on this creator. It's gross. It's fucking gross. And I mean, if you're going to sit behind a keyboard and talk about shoving dildos up creators' asses or bashing bricks into their head, you're nothing but a pussy. I'm sorry, but you're doing this behind a computer screen, acting big and bad when you're just small fry. You're not big and bad. The only thing you've got is a voice, and you use it, but that's all you got. I'm upset by all this. I'm distraught that we can get to a place where this is okay. It's okay to talk like this. You know, this time last year in our community, nobody talked like this. It's progressed into such an awful thing now, and it's okay. Why is that? Oh, I love you, Pixie. Thank you.
I just want to know when we jumped from being just drama bitches to non human, because that's what it feels like now.
Yeah.
And I've said a lot of shit on here, guys. And God knows I've gone with, I've gone at Laura. Laura's come at me. You'll never find a clip anywhere where I've threatened her physical harm, where I've ever said anything horrible about her children. The same way with Makeup Mobster, uh, Corey, or anybody else on here. I just want to know what changed to make all of this all of a sudden so acceptable that over 300 people would sit in a live and cheer this on while another human being is being talked about like this. I mean, I get bullshit drama. I get it.
Yeah, the
But
FUs and that kind of stuff is okay. But when you're sitting on a live talking about shoving up somebody's ASS, that's not okay. We're getting to a point now where we're wanting to take bricks and bash them into people's heads, and that's okay. Like, your Laura's live was so disgusting, she had to put it on private.
I agree, IBL. But supposedly Corey is the only awful one around here. So far from it. I totally agree, IBL. Totally agree.
IBL, you know, Corey has said a lot of things, but people provoke her to say some of the things she says. And she doesn't threaten to come into our country to beat somebody's ass.
I
You
just for
know,
you.
the things that they said about her miscarriage was just off the hook. Like, that is so wrong to do.
By the way, this is Angel Babies Month. This the whole month of October is not only breast cancer awareness, it's also baby angel awareness, which is remembering the babies that have been lost in utero or in infancy. So, just so you know.
You know, I've never lost a child, so I don't know how that would feel. I imagine, you know, that kind of hurt doesn't go away. I've got a big mouth on me and I know how to use it, but I think I have enough morals in me that I would never trash someone like that, regardless of how I cared about them. I don't think I could do it.
Well, like I said, my feelings for Laura are not hidden. Um,
Oh, mine
but
either.
but you have never ever once heard me threaten her with physical harm. You've never heard me say anything about sticking anything in her body part until it comes out the other side. You've never heard me say one one bad word about her children. And nor Leanna. Nor Leanna. Um, I think most of us can agree that at some point it's too much, regardless of who you're going after.
Hey, Minnie. Hey, Miss Michelle.
And
Hi, Sally Spencer. Hey,
I
Richard
would say
Breaker.
the same thing if it was somebody going after Laura in that manner. I've seen people go after Laura. I've seen the videos made about her, but I've never ever seen or heard what was said last night to Laura or Makeup Mobster from another human being ever.
You know, Laura keeps saying how we're so obsessed with her. No, Laura, we're not obsessed with you. We want to bring awareness to people on how you are
Me neither, Anna
and
Mary.
what you are. People are actually paying you, Laura, to bully people. And that is disgusting. That's why I make videos on you. That's why I go live on you. And I will continue to do so.
Yep.
I don't care what she says about me. She can make fun of me all day long. But remember, she's the one sitting in that bedroom all alone every day, hours upon hours, bashing people, trashing people, just to make herself feel better. She
You
makes
know,
fun of people's looks, and it's disgusting.
Amanda T just said Laura's sick in the head. And you know what? I think that I think I might be obsessed with Laura because I've always been obsessed with people who tick differently, not your common, you know what I'm saying? That's what I always wanted to be like a serial killer profiler and stuff. And I do think Laura's mind ticks differently than others. Uh, so maybe I really am obsessed with Laura. I don't know. The only thing I do know is I can't believe what YouTube or our little corner of it has turned into.
And it's disgusting that YouTube has terms of service. Yet these same creators break those terms of service every single day, day in and day out. Like, terroristic threats are not okay. And that happened last night. That's not okay. Making fun of someone for losing a child and for their looks, that's not okay. And Laura has had a history of doing this for a long time. She makes fun of everybody's looks. Yet, wasn't it just the other day, Tracy? She said that she looks better than me and you and someone else naked or something. Didn't
No,
you?
it was something like picturing me, you, and Jenna Moon naked was, and I'm thinking to myself, well, why
See,
would you be
this is
doing
what
that?
she's thinking about. These are her thoughts.
Why
That's
would you be doing
fucking
that?
weird. Right. And Laura, I'll still say to this day, I guarantee you I look better than you naked. I'm just throwing that out there.
Well, I'm not going to
So
go that far. So
I will.
you can. I'm not going to go that far. But
I'm so
even
tired of
even
her
to
bashing
think
people's
like that
looks,
is so.
Tracy.
I know, and I did. I went after her looks one day, not hard, but I did, and I immediately felt bad about it and did an apology video because that takes me out of character. You know, I I don't. I always said I wouldn't go after people's looks, and I won't, and I did, and I didn't go hard at her. I just mentioned her looks, and after I did it, I thought, man, that's something I swore I'd never do.
You know,
So
I
I
am far
apologized
from
for it.
conceited. I am so far from being conceited. But I can't get over how arrogant she is and how full of herself she is,
Hey,
that
Captain
she has
Obvious.
to sit there and critique every little thing about everybody. She had that picture of Corey up and she was trashing her. You know what? When I reach Corey's age, I'd love to not have a single gray hair in my head. Here I am, 40 years old, and I've got to dye my hair every 4 or 5 weeks because it's going gray, and I'd love to be Corey's size. She's thin. I'm not. I there are women out there that are much prettier than I am. And I'm humble enough to
Me
say,
too,
God,
Juju.
I wish I was as pretty as you. But Laura, she'll sit there and say how ugly you are and look how much prettier I am than this person, or pick out somebody's flaws. I can't stand that about her, and I'm going to start calling it out because it's disgusting behavior.
Well, and here's my thing. Corey has said things that I don't agree with,
Richard,
and I
you are pretty.
and I've told Corey this. Corey, don't go this low. You don't have to go this low. But
I
I
think she
guess
does it out of hurt. She's
I do too.
hurting.
I think at some point she just gets so tired of either the crackhead or we don't care about your baby or you're probably lying about it or you let a crackhead beat you down or
Look,
whatever.
I want to say this. I lurk in Corey's a lot. Sometimes I don't say anything at all, but I will sit there and I watch what happens. Corey can be happy as can be, talking about whatever, and people will come in there and provoke her and get her so upset that she does start saying things because it hurts her. And these people know that, and that's why they go in to do it.
Well, here's my point. Go back 3 weeks ago on Laura's videos, okay? And you'll see the picture that Corey uses of the little broken girl with her, in the purple dress or whatever. The little,
Yeah.
sorry, Corey, it's kind of a creepy picture, but and Laura says the best of Corey, MF, and Chainsaw, and she loved her. She loved her because Corey was going at some of us. How do you go from just absolutely adoring someone's work to saying the things that were said last night?
Out of pure hatred. I'm just going to put it out there. These people hate Tiffany. They don't like Corey because she's sticking up for Tiffany. So all these people have gotten together, and whatever the leader of the pack or whoever's live at the time says will completely go. And nobody's going to sit there and say, oh, no, don't say that, because they dislike this person so bad that whatever is said is okay. And that's not okay. You know,
But remember, Corey wasn't the first, and I'm not even going to call her a victim. Corey wasn't the first target. I mean, you're talking about people who put out, a person who put out tweets about the wrong person killing themselves, talking about their mother. Uh,
yeah.
a tweet about, did you leave your sister lay? Is it true you left your sister lay for X amount of days while after she died? Shit like that. So this isn't like,
That
oh,
kind of shit's being forgiven, and it's
yep,
disgusting.
yep.
Whenever those people say those things, it's, buried. They don't ever want to talk about it again. It's forgiven. But why do you guys hold so much hatred for Tiffany and Corey?
I don't know. It's just gone so far. I mean, it's gone way beyond throwing tomatoes. It's gone, and I'm by far not perfect, and I've said it, and I'll continue to say it, and I sin every day, and I'll probably sin for the rest of my life. I run my mouth. I don't think you'll find a clip on YouTube of me saying anything remotely as close to what I've heard in the last few weeks, last few months here on YouTube.
And
I
it's
don't think
getting
I don't think it's
worse.
possible.
Tracy, it's getting worse. Like I said, a year ago, none of us were saying these kind of things. None. And now it's gotten so bad that we're threatening to go beat people up now.
Hit them in the heads with bricks.
We're
Hey, now
threatening to get a passport just so we can go to wherever this person
I
lives.
did tell Ballet Babe that I'd knock her teeth out because she was talking about my son. I did say that. I have to own that.
Yeah.
But me and Ballet Babe have made amends since then.
Look,
But
I
I did
threatened to
say that.
beat
I have to
Brian
own it.
St. John up, okay?
But it's not even really the words that are being said. It's the absolute hate and disdain that's behind it. I mean, the words are bad enough, but when you it it's the venom that's being spewed behind these words that make you stop and go, wow, you know, would you ever really behave like this in your real life? Ever?
I don't see Laura threatening anybody like that in real life. I think she says these kind of things behind a computer because it's going to bring her views and it's going to bring her money. And that's disgusting. I think Laura is a coward in real life, but I think she's found a place where she can be this
You're
bully
right.
type.
You're right, Tatum. Tiffany did say that. Tiffany did say that Randy's mom would walk her to the gates of hell. And that wasn't right either. Nobody's saying that was right.
Oh, yeah. When Tiffany said that, I was so mad. Like, I was so mad. And it hurt, because I've lost a parent. So I'm thinking, wow, if you just understood what it means to not have a parent and hear someone say that, yeah, it was screwed up and it wasn't right. But guess what? Tiffany has apologized for some of these things that she said. Where's the apologies from Laura? Laura never apologizes for anything she ever says or does.
That's true, teacher's mom. It's not, in all fairness, it's not just Laura. But can you tell me anybody else on here? Um,
Ash, I know you was in that stream last night, and I'm not trying to call you out or anything, but was it okay for some of the things makeup mobsters saying back to Corey? I mean, when's it ever going to stop? Like, how bad does it have to get? I mean, I legit saw people in there
hey,
like
Jules.
cheering Laura on for saying some of these things and cheering Makeup Mobster on for saying some of these
Yeah, it's like
things.
say more, say more, say more. I can tell you a couple stories of when I supported Laura. Laura had somebody come up on her panel to attack, to go at Republican Ash. Now, since then, I believe Republican Ash and this person have made amends. But this person was saying that they would go to Ash's door, that I don't know, kick her dog or something to do with her dog, and we all know how much Ash loves her dog. And I left that stream. I told Laura, I said, I can't stand behind this, and I left the stream. I didn't quit supporting her, but I left the stream. I just put my wrench down for the night and I walked away.
Republican Ash, you're right. Corey and MM are both guilty. They both said things out of anger. You're right. But it's just getting worse. Like, we went from calling everybody bitches to now we're threatening people with harm. We're critiquing their looks. We're taking anything we can just to hurt them. What's going to be next? Like, the police are threatening to get called. Police are actually going to people's houses. I mean, it's getting ridiculous in this community. What happens when somebody does show up at someone's house? Then what? I don't want to see that for anyone. I wouldn't want to see that for Laura. And I do not like her. Like, there's not an ounce of me that likes her. Like, nothing. I wouldn't want to see any harm happen to her. I wouldn't want to see anything bad
Me
happen to her
neither.
family.
Me neither. Me neither.
In Ash 274, I want you to know that I adore you. And I don't hold anything against you. And I don't want you to dislike me for saying this, or for this whole live. It's just, it's not okay. Like, I've got to listen to some of the things that Laura said last night. And I'm just like, wow, why are people defending that? Why are people backing her when she's talking like that? I don't understand. I mean, is that entertainment for people? Like, do they not care who it hurts? as long as they're, being entertained.
Well, and I've never put myself in the middle of Ash 274 and Corey's tit for tat
No, and I don't
because,
want to do that either because that's not
you
my
know,
business.
right. And they are, OG drama. I mean, OG more than me, So that's like I tried to explain to Corey one time. I was like, look, Corey, you're assuming that everybody knows your history with these people, and not everybody does. So, you know,
Daddy Boop, are you referring to Laura? Like, I've never heard Laura say that she wants to take a brick and bash it against somebody's head. That's like, this is new for me. So, I've heard her call people names, whatever, but I've never heard this. And like, she meant it. It's not like she was saying that as a joke.
hey,
Like, she
CC
legit
Ryder,
meant that.
and said other people would be willing to do that too. Well, I don't know. Again, this isn't, in my opinion, this isn't just about Laura and Makeup Mobster and Corey. It's about the fact that somewhere along the way, we've lost our humanity. I mean, it's not, this stuff is not okay.
We've
You,
lost our decency. Like,
you don't
decent
pick on
people are
people
not
for
gonna.
losing, you don't pick on people for losing children. You don't pick on people about being a domestic, being in a domestic
God.
violence situation. You don't pick on people about addiction. So it's definitely not, about just about Laura, because it's come from a lot of different directions. I mean, I don't even know anymore. I don't even know what to think. Like I said, I've run my mouth. I will continue to run my mouth. But you will never, ever, ever, ever hear anything remotely come out of my mouth that came out of the mouth of those two women last night on that panel. Ever.
I mean, it's just gross. Like, I think we all get to a point to where we say things out of anger, or I don't know if it's intimidation tactics with them. I don't know. It's not classy. And I hear them all the time say how classy they are and how so far above they are than everyone else. Well, when you talk like that, you're proving that you're not above anyone else. In
Oh,
fact, you're proving that you're a piece of shit.
oh, trust me, Bodie Blue. I was part of those lives that
Hey, Courtney.
Laura, Tiffany, and Makeup Mobster went at me too. So it wasn't just Ash and Starlight.
When you sit there and say, oh, you'll never be on my level, and then talk about bashing people's heads in and dildos going up people's asses. I mean, if that's the level you want to be on, you take it and run with it and be proud. But I guarantee you that I will never be jealous of that level ever. And I don't know why anybody else would want to be either because it's disgusting. And yes, it is trashy. And Laura, you are very trashy and your mouth is trashy. And I have a feeling you always have been because some of the things you say comes out so easily. Like, it doesn't bother you a bit to say this to someone. And that's really sad. It shows that you have no morals. It shows you have no empathy for others. Because I know that I couldn't say that to somebody that I disliked. I wouldn't want to hurt them like that.
I don't know. I'm not taking sides. I'm not saying, Laura against Corey, Makeup Mobster against Corey, Corey against Ash, whatever. Everybody has their beefs. But there has to be a line that we
Hey,
draw
Cat
that we
Kenzie.
don't cross.
Yes,
And the
we need to
goalpost
get,
the
we,
goalpost keeps getting moved further back and further back and further back. What is it going to take? Is it going to take somebody taking their life? Or, I mean, what is it going to take?
and that upsets me too. I thank you for bringing that up, Trace. They want to make fun of Corey, for being put in the psych ward, right? Because of Twitter. They keep bringing that up. If you know that that's true, why would you keep going at this person? Why are you letting it affect you to where you want to try to put her back in that state? Why? If she means nothing to you, you wouldn't give her a second glimpse. You wouldn't talk about her. But lately, all you guys have been doing is talking about Corey. So obviously, it does affect you. Her
Hold
words
on.
bother you that much.
Hold on, Panic Attack. I'll address you.
Go ahead.
Panic Attack says the truth. What about when you and Sarah crosses lines to defend Laura against all her past dirty deeds? Okay, I'm assuming you mean when we crossed lines to defend Laura against her past dirty deeds. Yes, I did support Laura. And I supported Laura through a lot of shit that I'm
Low lightly, I
embarrassed.
can see you. I don't think you're blocked.
You're not blocked, low lightly. I supported Laura through a lot of things that I now sit back and say, wow, I'm kind of, well, I'm embarrassed. And I've made a public apology for, I'm not belittling you over a typo. Not now, I think you're being a little extra sensitive there, Panic Attack. I'm not belittling you. I'm trying to answer your question. I have apologized to the people that I've hurt and I didn't even know. Um, there were times when Laura did things that I walked away from, just like I just told you the story about Republican Ash.
There was
And
many times that none of us wanted to be involved with some of the things that Laura was doing. So we would all just kind of tell her not to do it and then not say another word about it. We'd leave that chat or we wouldn't be in that live. We didn't always back Laura up when we was a part of her community.
I'm rude. Okay, I didn't mean to be rude, Panic Attack. You're right, Republican Ash. Everybody needs to be addressed, not just Laura.
Well, yeah, I mean, if there's something that I've done lately, call me out for it. But I can guarantee you that I'm not threatening to bash people's heads in with bricks. I'm not talking about dildos and shoving them up people's arses. I don't even like talking like that, so I can't even say it the regular way.
I
It's
don't
just
know,
tacky to
Matt.
me.
I have no idea, Matt. I didn't. I just got highlights today. I trust me. By 2:30 in the morning, Matt, I am not thinking about YouTube. I just got highlights of it today.
She put it on private because she knew that it was disgusting. She didn't want it seen. She didn't want it flagged. She knew that people would flag it because of what she was saying. I guarantee it. I know her. She's so worried about her channel that if she thinks it's going to get flagged, she'll take it down. There's been some lives in the past, month and a half that she has taken down. I know this for a fact. Go to her playlist. Some of them are private.
She says she doesn't take any of her lives down, but
Yes, she does.
I
And
mean,
I don't even
I
care
just
about that. I just
I
care
just
about what was being said last night. That's what I
yeah.
care about.
I mean, it's her channel. She can take down whatever she wants. I mean, she can, you know, she can treat it any way she wants to. But I'm just flabbergasted at where we've come. It's like a
On
year
a hate
ago. You got
panic
to
attack.
remember the reason I left Laura was because she went on a panel and handed over somebody's information that hated me. This person hated me, and she went on a panel to a known doxer and gave that person's information to him. And that's when I walked away from Laura. That's when I could no longer move the goalpost back any further. That's when I had to make the decision to walk away.
Panic attack. I don't hate anyone.
I don't
I
either.
dislike Laura. I dislike her a lot. I don't hate her. I do not like the things that she says to people. I do not like how she treats people. I do not like how she lies to people. And you may wonder why I'm so invested because I gave her money. That's why. I'm ashamed that I was ever a part of her.
Oh, trust me and Corey's gone on around and round about the word junkie. And my
I've
opinion has not changed. I
I've
do
heard
not
many
think
people.
people are junk. I do not. My son is an addict. Thank God today he's clean and sober for today. But I hate the word junkie. Corey knows this. She knows it hurts my heart. Um, she's never directed it towards me, but I have spoke up to Corey about the word junkie. So
Corey and I were able to talk, and we both understand. I don't like the word junkie. I don't like the word crackhead. And whatever happened between Corey and I, we were adult enough to fix it and
puff
leave
the
it at that.
magic, puff the magic dragon. I thought you both don't watch your lives, yet you know the live stream verbatim. Just asking. No, I don't know it verbatim, and I didn't see it. Um, I never said I don't watch her lives. I miss a lot of her lives when she goes live late. Uh, she's the one that says she never watches our lives, but she always has a comeback to them. So, like immediately, if I'm live and I say her name, immediately. Wait a minute, Blackhearted once. But no, I never said I don't watch her live. Again, why is it accepted by anyone, no matter what side, vile behaviors on each side with cheerleaders on all sides?
That's
Exactly.
true.
I agree, Blackhearted.
And I've never sat here and said that I don't watch Laura, because I do. I like calling Laura out. I'm not trying to build an empire like some would say. I'm not. But when I am online, I do watch her and I do critique that. I've never denied it. I mean, I never have. Maybe that is weird of me, but I guarantee you I'm not the only one in this community that watches people I don't like.
No, I think we all do.
Yeah. And, if you want to call me out for that, that's fine. But I'm not going to lie to you or any of you about it. I'm not going to sit up here and say, oh, I never watched Laura ever, because that would be a lie. I do watch her. Do I watch her all the time? No, I don't. But yeah, a lot of times I do.
Well, I do too. How else would I know she talks about me in every live?
Right.
Which I think I might have escaped last night. I think I don't think I got talked about last night. So
Oh, am I buffering? I shouldn't be. I'm on Wi Fi. Hmm. You know what, lately I lurk a lot too. I really do. I was even lurking in your live when you was playing music earlier today. I was eating dinner while I was listening to that. I think you had Cyndi Lauper playing,
panic attack.
Aerosmith.
Let me look. Panic attack.
Oh,
You
good,
guys
Shannon.
also
Okay.
made friends with Tiffany Marie over a common hate. What makes you think I've made friends with Tiffany Marie? First of
Whoa.
all, first of all, let me explain something. I was friends with Tiffany Marie long before she hooked up with Laura. Okay? We used to text back and forth. I was friends with Tiffany. I didn't care about anybody else's problems with Tiffany. It didn't matter to me. It wasn't my business. So I was friends with Tiffany long before she hooked up with Laura. Once she hooked up with Laura and I saw the change in the Tiffany that I knew, I sent Tiffany a message and I told her, I said, look, you are no longer the Tiffany that I know. So until you get back to being the one that I know, I don't want anything to do with you. I sent the same message to Makeup Mobster. The only difference is Tiffany apologized. Makeup Mobster never has and probably never will. And that's okay. Maybe she doesn't feel like she owes me an apology. So there's the explanation on that panic attack. There is no, me and Tiffany are not meeting for coffee. Okay,
Have I
well,
had
it's pretty clear that you don't like Tiffany panic attack. I mean, you've I don't know how much more clear you can make it. What do you want to take a link and come up and say what she's personally done to you? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what your beef is with Tiffany.
I've gotten to a place where I don't want to have this hate for just one creator or two creators. Like, I don't even hate Laura. I just don't like some of the things she says and does. I never hated Tiffany. There was times I didn't like Tiffany because of the way she was treating
I
people
don't hate
along.
Laura.
Yeah, I don't hate Laura either. Um, Tiffany and I have always been able to casually talk. Now, did we talk while she was friends with Makeup Mobster and Laura when all three of them were, doing lives together and calling people out? No, I didn't talk to Tiffany. And you know what? I didn't even hardly troll her. I don't even troll this community anymore. It's gotten so disgusting. I don't even want to be a part of it half the time because it's gotten so bad. Like, why am I going to insert myself and help troll to make things worse? I'm just not going to do it. I, I've been a huge troll before. Oh my God. I came into this community trolling. I don't want to do that anymore, man. It's bad enough. Like, I'd rather us all be able to have peace, all be able to get along. And if we can't get along, at least coexist. The whole thing with people being friends with one creator and then another creator and then, having little wars in between is so dumb. Why can't we all just find a place, coexist, maybe not talk and get along and be chummy chummy, but at least coexist? That's all that I want. Why doesn't anybody else want that? Like, why do we have to hate people so bad?
I think one reason she took the live down is because she doesn't want to hear any backlash about going on vacay with her son's B-Day Disney money, honey.
Have a good
Also,
weekend,
she's
Dragon's Law.
she's supposed to be quarantined. Have a good one, Dragon's Law. Yeah, I think the Disney trip is not until November. That's what
Jen,
I was.
she's so proud to be famous. She's so famous that they didn't even credit her with her name being, but she's famous. I mean, you know what? It's cool that, her voice was able to be in that documentary. That's cool. Like, cool. I'm not going to sit there and bash her for it, but she's going way too far by saying she's famous now. I mean, come on, give me a break. You didn't even acknowledge the fact that Makeup Mobster's name was in there. Like, hello, it was her name, not yours. It's funny.
Well, I did. I did a little poke at her when I did my live called Humble Pie, but I definitely never threatened to hit her with a brick or make fun of her children or anything like that. I mean, it was just a fun little poke at her because she made a video saying how humble she was, and then she went on to say, "Woohoo! You think I'm not going to capitalize off of this? Woohoo!" I mean, come on. I mean, have another slice, Laura.
It's just arrogance and egos are hysterical around here and with her. I mean, to sit there and say you're famous? No,
And I'm
you're
happy
not
for
famous.
her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Her voice made it onto a Netflix series about one of the biggest cases
Hmm.
that ever hit the YouTube streets or all over the world, pretty much. But
Yeah,
by
but
the
it's
same
kind of
token,
embarrassing
Laura never
saying that
wanted
you're
to cover that
famous.
case. She always said it was boring, and everybody else was covering it. So, yay, good. I mean, I'm happy for Laura. Yay. I'm happy for Makeup Mobster. I'm happy for, I don't know. I think Dee Dee made it in there.
Oh, she
Did,
did, didn't she?
I don't know about, did Kay make it in there?
Her
They
voice
probably
did,
didn't
yeah.
credit Kay since she was caught calling Shanana bitch.
Yeah,
But,
I don't think that they was
they
credited.
probably didn't credit her. Hello, sunny side up.
Thanks, sunny side
But
up.
I'm
How are
happy
you?
for her. I would be, I'd be tickled, if something like, I did a commercial for Caesars. It was very flattering. So I'm
I've
happy
made the
for
local news a couple times, but I'm not going to brag about that.
her. Yeah, 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 never mind. We won't go there. My son made the newspaper for catching a football in the mud one day. But yeah, I'm not going to take that away from Laura. They took that clip and they used that. I wouldn't try to take that away from her.
No, but it is kind of embarrassing sitting there watching her say, I'm famous. I mean, but maybe she is really proud of that, and that's cool. But yikes. I don't know. Ninny. Bravo. Slow clap. Oh, what a
Like I
day.
said, I would. I'm happy for her. And yeah, she's famous, but God forbid Netflix be tuned into what went down last night.
I don't know. I mean, if you're going to sit
Hey,
there
sweet crazy.
and try to build an empire, tearing people down is not going to get you that empire. Calling people these derogatory names is not going to build that empire. It's just not. I mean, if you want an empire of dirt, you're doing the
Yeah,
right thing.
Jay for Justice was on Dateline. That is to brag about. And so was Dad with the phone. Didn't he make Dateline or 2020 or
He
something?
did. I remember that.
Yeah.
I can't remember which one it was. Maybe Dateline? Or
I know
was,
Jay for Justice did. She made a
yeah,
big part on it. Which so did Dad with the phone. I mean, like the person that runs the show,
was in the
the
car with him.
yeah,
Yeah,
was going for a ride with him and shit. So
I remember that.
I was wondering if they checked his driver's license because he'd been pulled over earlier in the year. I was like, God, I hope he's got a valid license. But no, just kidding out there with you,
Is
D-Wop.
he still around?
Oh
I don't know.
yeah,
I don't watch him. I don't know.
yeah, he's still around. I don't know what he. I don't watch him either, but I did watch some. I did watch some of his Kelsey Barrett because he really got in there. He really got in there and did the work. He went to the court hearings. He did the work.
And I want to put this out there. And Tracy, you was involved in this too. Laura played a clip where she insisted that dad with the phone threatened her, and that's why she called the police on him. It was not like that at all. He did not threaten her.
No, that was like Dad with the phone kind of embarrassed her on that one because he proved it 10
Yeah,
times over that he didn't threaten her. But,
that's funny.
well, that's very sweet of you, Panic Attack. Maybe I'll think about that. I think you're just trying to be a smart ass,
I don't
but
even
that's
see
okay.
panic attack.
I can handle trust me, I can handle your jab, sweetie. And you can take a link too. You
Dude,
can, you, you can put your Candy Crush down for a minute and come on up.
I'm sorry I blocked him. I'm not going to have him talking like that in here to you or to anybody else for that matter. I
Well,
don't.
whoever it is obviously doesn't like me because they've been making jabs at me since they came in. So I can narrow it down, trust me. Well, no, probably can't. But
Well, I
whatever.
love your voice. I love everything about you, Tracy. I think you
Well,
have a
the
heart of
thing
gold.
about my voice is I can't change it. There's nothing I can do about it. I've had a deep voice my entire life pretty much.
I mean, I don't think it's deep. I think you have a smoker's voice, if you know what I mean. Like some people, they get like you can tell when they smoke. That's, I don't know.
Yeah, but my voice, even before I smoked, I've always had this. I mean, I hate my voice, but I
I
can't
like
change
your
it.
voice. I hate my voice. I cannot sit there and listen to a stream that I'm on.
I mean,
Like after the fact, I can't do it.
Ask 274 has a raspy voice, but I don't think she can change it.
I hate my voice. Never liked it.
Oh, and I hate hearing myself. Like, that's why I don't like to go back and listen to my lives because I don't want to hear me. Sometimes
Right.
I
I'm the
have to
same
go.
way.
Sometimes I have to go back and listen to them just because I need to hear a part of it. And I'm like, oh God. And I skip through as much as I can so that I don't have to hear me. But it is what it is. I can't change it. I do too, Ash. When a telemarketer calls and says, "Are you the man of the house?" I say, "Yeah." Why argue? I mean,
Right.
why argue with them? Sure, I'm not going to buy whatever you're selling. So, yes, I'm the man of the house. What can I do for you?
Hey, 420 scrapping. I haven't seen you around in a while.
I know.
It's kind of nice seeing you around
I
and
think I
trading
just jumped
things.
up here, and well, I'm going on low power mode, so I'm getting down soon. But I just really jumped up here to just kind of shake my head and wonder at the things I heard last night and the things even okay, you got Ash 274 and her beef with Corey. And even they were able to talk this morning, like actually talk. I don't know if it solved anything, but actually talked. I've never heard Ash 274 say she would take a brick and bash in Corey's head. By the same token, I've never heard Corey say she would take a brick and bash in Ash's head. And
Right.
now their beef goes way back, way back, way deeper than Laura's, because 3 weeks ago, Laura has a video up saying how great Corey is
Mm-hmm.
because Corey was coming at us. Now, even though Corey has come at me many a times, and I just go to Corey and say, Corey, stop. I don't know what you're talking about. Just stop.
Yeah,
You
she,
know,
when she had Corey up there, she was like, everything that Corey says is the truth. So what's changed, Laura? Is it because she's talking about you now and calling you out for some of the things you're doing? Now it's not the truth, right? Funny how that works.
I agree, Anna Mary.
I mean, there's some of us in this community that'll be like, oh, wow, yeah, they are calling me out because I did do this wrong. And we're humble enough to apologize for some of the things we do. I've never seen Laura apologize for things she's done. I never have. She's so arrogant. She doesn't see anything that she says or does wrong.
The only time I saw Laura apologize, it was not too long ago. And it might have been with the suicide comment about Randy's mom and the thing about Diane. And it was bringing her a lot of freaking heat. And she apologized to her people if she triggered any of her people.
Oh, you're right.
Remember?
I do remember that.
She did a live and said, I apologize if I triggered any of my people.
Hmm.
So she did apologize
I don't know.
to her
There's
people.
just certain things you don't say, Tracy, and that's one of them. And I'm not giving any of them a pass. If Corey said it, she was wrong. If Tiffany said it, she's wrong.
Yep.
If Laura said it, she's wrong. There's certain things you just don't say and shouldn't say to people, and that's one of them. Comments about people's deceased loved ones. You don't bring that up. And the only reason you do is to hurt them. And you shouldn't be doing that. It's wrong. Don't you have any morals? It's wrong.
I don't know. When I do something really ugly, I get this pit in my stomach and I have to go back and correct it.
Yeah, just the other day, just Angel and I, we got into it hot and heavy. And I cussed her up and down and I said things that I don't typically say. And then I got off of that live and I thought about it and I'm like, oh, damn. And I went back up onto that live and I genuinely apologized to her because I shouldn't have said those things because they were wrong. And at least have a little decency in yourself. If you do say things like that, apologize for saying them, you know? Show people that you have some class and apologize.
Boy, she was all over you when you uh told somebody that you thought was a troll.
Oh,
to go stick scissors in a
a light socket. Yes, I
yeah.
did. Okay, there was this person with like one or two subs, so I knew it was a troll. And they were just coming at me and made comments about my mom being a drug addict and me being a drug addict, whatever. And so, yeah, I told him, I was like, maybe you should just go stick a pair of scissors in a light socket. I did say that. And they trashed me so much on that that I did apologize. But I didn't know that that was Heidi's family. I had no idea. If I would have known that it was her family, I wouldn't have said that. Let's be real. Come on. I said it because I thought it was a troll trolling me. So, whatever. And it's not like I meant it. Whatever.
I'm going to jump down because my battery is running low, but I did want to say I believe everybody in here knows Winky Whispers, and
Oh,
I believe everybody in here adores Winky Whispers because I don't believe she's ever said a mean thing to anybody. But could we
no.
offer up some prayers for her and her mom?
Yeah, good
And
vibes and prayers for Winky Whisper's mom. She really needs them right now. Oh gosh. K
thanks, K
Smalls, thank you,
Smiles.
hon.
I mean, it's Winky's story to tell, but I know she could use the
Yeah.
prayers. So I'm going to jump down. I'll be in your chat though, Sarah. You can drop a link if somebody else wants to come up and talk.
Thanks for coming up, Tracy. I adore you and I love you, big
Love,
bunches.
love your face off. All right.
Yeah, I'll drop a. Let's see if I can do that. Oh, I really suck at this. I need a new computer. So then I can go live off my computer instead of doing it from my phone. It's so complicated doing it from my phone. If anybody wants to come up and like hang out with me or yell at me or whatever, just come on up. I don't care. Open panner. But yeah, I mean, I wanted to go live and I wanted to talk about some of this because nobody else is doing it. So I thought to myself, well, since everybody knows I dislike Laura, why don't I say something? And it bothers me. People wonder why I go live and say things about Laura. Well, this is the reason, because what she says is not okay. And if nobody's going to stand against her and tell her to stop, her behavior is not going to stop. It's just going to keep happening over and over. And then it's going to get worse than it already is. And I find it hysterical how she can say she's so classy and so above everybody, yet she's telling people to put dildos up their ass and telling them that she's going to bash their head in with a brick. Yeah, that's real classy there, Laura. You outshine us all, baby. Whatever. Hey, girl underestimated. I'm good. How are you? Yeah, I feel really bad for what's going on with Winky right now. I love that lady to death. And she is such a good person. She's got such a huge heart and she loves everybody in this community, no matter who we follow. She puts all of that aside, which we should all do. We should, if we like somebody, we shouldn't pretend like we dislike them just because of who they support. We should like them for who they are. And I have so much respect for Winky because she loves so many of us. So, if we can all say some good vibes and prayers for her right now, I know she would love that. And she desperately needs them right now. Unfiltered 1, 2, 3. Yeah. I mean, I'll always call Laura out on her shit. I don't like her anymore. I lost any bit of respect I had for her is completely gone. And I mean, people might question me why I'm so obsessed with her, or why I go after her because of her behaviors. And it's not that I'm any better, but I am better than somebody that's going to threaten with bricks or dildos or say the CUNT word every single live. I know I'm better than that. So why don't you prove that you're better than that, Laura, and stop doing that? Have a little couth. Have a little class about you. You'll go further with your channel if you do. And you might sit there and say, well, I've got all these subs, blah, blah, blah. Well, you'll be a lot more respected and you'll gain more subs. It's just disgusting. Hey, Alexis, how are you? Hey, Coffee Chat. Hi, Mary. How are you doing, darling? Yes, thank you for the prayers for her and her mom. I really hope she sees this. And I'll get in contact with her too, and I'll tell her that, everybody loves her and supports her. I'm not going to stay on much longer, but, if everybody else can come on and vent about things, we can do it too. If if somebody's saying some bad things and showing bad behaviors, we have every right to call that out. We just do. And it doesn't mean that we're obsessed. It just means that you shouldn't be talking like that. You shouldn't be saying these kind of things. It's wrong and it's awful. And so, yeah, you should be called out for it. Oh my gosh, Case Smalls, is he really? Yeah, I guess Trump has COVID. That's sad. And doesn't his wife have it too? They both do, right? Oh wow, a plasma treatment. Mm. Hi, Susan. How are you? Well, prayers for our president and his wife. I am a Trump supporter. I kind of always have been. So there's that. Don't hate me, people. It is what it is. I like Trump. Like, even my family got mad at me when he was running for office. Like, they was genuinely mad at me because I wanted Trump in there. But it's not that I just wanted Trump in there. I didn't want the other candidate in there. So there's that. Oh, someone's coming up. Hey.
Hey,
Hey, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
Yeah. How's your weekend going so far?
It's going okay. I've got a live stream planned at 8:30. Little plug
Oh,
there. But just
go
gonna
for it.
go over MK Ultra, and people can, if they listen to my last live stream, which is about an hour, they can, if they look into it, they can tell who I'm speaking of. And if they,
Hmm.
the first person to mention it in the chat wins $25. So it's gonna be kind of fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Everybody sub up to Case Smalls if you're not.
So, anyways, yeah, he was in the. I don't know if Fox News had the live stream like delayed for his protection. Why they would even mention what hospital he's going to is beside me. But allegedly, him and Melania were tested positive from that Hope person, one of his, senior advisors.
Hmm.
She became Hope Weeks, I think is her name. So they got it from her. They tested positive, I think, yesterday or day before. And so, but here's the thing. They saw Trump get into Air Force One, the helicopter version, but
Hmm.
I don't think Melania was seen getting in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, weird.
Interesting. Yeah, very.
Hope Hicks. There we go. Yeah. Thanks, Gorilla Underestimated.
I don't know if they do or not. Do you
Well,
know
it's
if they?
in Maryland. It's really, really close to the White House,
Hmm.
Walter Reed Hospital. Well, I don't know though. I mean, they're both positive. Why would they leave one in the White House and one? It doesn't make any sense. And
Interesting.
I also heard that Trump has a fever and chills.
Oh
And
gosh.
Hannity, 16 hours ago, Hannity had him on the phone on an interview. And somebody in another chat said that he did sound congested. And he had just sent off his test then. Said he didn't know if he would get it back, last night or today.
Oh, so it's progressing quickly. Like,
I don't know. Here's the thing. A month ago, Trump made the statement that we would not see him for a while.
hmm.
Okay. I look into everything and I'm like, something sounds odd about this. And did you see the little flash on the White House live stream where they said lights out?
No.
Yeah, that it was an actual White House live stream, an official White House live. It said lights out. It flashed at the bottom of the ticker. This
Huh.
was about a month and a half ago.
Yeah, I haven't been paying attention a lot lately. Oh boy.
Yeah, he's 74.
So what do you think that means with the
I,
lights
I
out?
I don't know. I just I had to keep prepared anyway. So I'm like, everybody just get your
Mm-hmm.
flashlights and your candles ready, just in case. And a big thing to look out for is if the bank ATMs stop working, which
Oh
they've done a
yes.
test run on that before. If the bank ATMs stop working all of a sudden, I'm not in. This is not conspiracy. This is staying like open minded, right, and being prepared. I mean, who would have thought a pandemic would reach the whole world? Everybody would have thought you were crazy, right? And it happened.
Yeah, last year nobody would have believed that. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? And it's pretty much shut down our whole country and other countries as
Mhm.
well. I mean, it's crazy how 2020 has been, and just seems like every year is getting worse. So I
Mhm.
mean, I believe in a lot of conspiracies. I can't lie.
I know you do. It's just that one in the chat is just always like, "Oh God, conspiracy." Well, a lot of what I say is fact. They
Who
just,
said that? Ainsley? I love
yeah.
Ainsley. Yeah, I mean, I've been in all different kinds of conspiracies, and you know what? I'm not even gonna lie. I used to listen to flat Earth
Mhm.
videos.
I did too. I did
Yeah,
too. I used to. I'm not a
they were
flat earther.
interesting. I'm not
Yeah.
either, but like they were interesting. Who's that one? He does rap music too. I can't think of his name. Um, ODD.
Oh yeah, ODD. Yeah.
Yes, I love his channel. I can't lie. I mean, like I like his music, and I like some of the conspiracies that he does come out with. Like it's interesting.
You know, he just found, like, he just became a Christian.
Did he really?
Yes, he finally, because I messaged him and I was like, I sent him an email. I was like, hey, I was like, how are you doing? I haven't heard from you in a while, blah, blah, blah. And he was telling me about his new girlfriend and how she's like, her faith is really, really strong. And once he
Oh,
met
that's great.
her, he was able to open his eyes, and I got goosebumps. He was able to open his eyes and like see the truth. Yeah. I was
And
like,
that's
that's
really good.
amazing.
I worried about him for a while. Like I
Yeah, I
seen
did
where he
too.
wrecked his truck, and
Mm-hmm.
man, he just didn't look good. And hopefully things have turned around for him,
Mm-hmm.
and he's on the
I
up and
think they
up.
have. He
Good,
said he
good.
sounded very high in spirits. This was about maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago I messaged him. So
Oh, well, I'm
seems to be
glad.
doing really, really good. So
Yeah, that's good. He deserves it. He's a good guy. I've always thought he was a good guy. So,
ODD TV is his channel name. He's got a
hmm
couple channels, but his bigger one is ODD TV. He has some really good he's a flat earther all the way. But
yeah,
if
he
you
sure
listen to
is.
his songs, I mean, it's just his voice and his rhythm, and it's just they're not all on a flat Earth. He's got some pretty good COVID videos out there.
hmm
His last one he did was amazing. He took some time on that one.
Yeah. See, you and I go back a little ways.
Yeah, we
Like we
do. We do.
we've been in a couple communities together, and we've known each other for a few years. So yeah.
Monty. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
Awesome.
just type in ODD TV. You'll be able to find it. I think he's got quite a few subs now,
Yeah, he
in
does.
the
He's doing
hundreds,
really well.
thousands. Yeah.
Yep. I can remember when he had maybe 10 or 15,000 subs.
Mhm.
And like I used to listen to like a lot of flat earth. When I first found YouTube, that's what I
Mhm.
would listen to because it was just everywhere. I guess like the whole flat earth thing was just
2016 and 2017 was the big flat Earth like awaken movement,
mhm.
and yeah, I just it gets you thinking. I'm not a flat earther, but it gets you thinking.
It
You know,
does.
what exactly do they know that they don't tell us? What all have they told us that is a lie? You know, but
Yep.
I will say this: the Bible does state that the earth is hollow.
It does. And,
Mm-hmm.
the Bible also mentions giants. And,
Mm-hmm.
it's been proven that giants
Mm-hmm.
have been on this land, but, the museums get a hold of these bones and then they destroy them. Those
Mm-hmm.
are facts. And then they want to
Mm-hmm.
sit there and try to recreate history. And it's crazy, crazy, crazy. I don't
Watch
know.
your numbers start going down.
I know. That's okay.
Uh,
I mean, I'm not going to stay on much longer, but I find that kind of stuff interesting, like
oh, it's
highly
very
interesting.
intriguing.
Yeah.
It's very intriguing. It says the fallen angels came down and came into the daughters of men and created a new race,
Mhm.
and they created giants in those days called Nephilim.
Mhm.
And if you ask me my honest opinion about all that, that's why the flood happened. Because,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Noah's flood. Absolutely.
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
yeah, that's why it had to be so high, because they were so tall. Think about it.
Yeah. Watch,
Look
some
into
people are
mud
never
fo-
going to talk.
look into
Mud
mud
Fossil,
fossils.
yes.
Yes.
I
Oh
watch him
my
a lot. I
gosh.
like his stuff.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting with like the rocks and stuff and then the formations of certain mountains and things.
Some of
Oh,
those statues. Have you seen the statues of the
yes.
angels that were like frozen in time?
Yes. Is that not insane? Like it,
I'm like, huh?
and people are just like, "Oh, that's not real. That can't be real." But I mean, I don't know. I'm
Who's
just going to keep
high?
my mouth shut.
Cat Kinsey, who's high? I guarantee you I'm not. Guarantee you. Because there's no way I could jump on a live stream high. Uh-uh.
Okalancy, I'm not a flat earther. I'm definitely not, but
No.
I like listening to everybody's point of view, and
Mm.
that's always been me. I'm observant and I'm curious, really.
I have a really good friend I go live with about once every other week on his channel. He worked at NASA, and I just cannot. I'm real close to him too, and I cannot build it up in me to ask him. I should.
Oh my
I
gosh,
should
that would be great.
just ask him. Hey, what have you seen? What's the
Right.
truth? Because he knows.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that know, but then, they're not allowed to say anything. It's in a contract that they can't mention anything. I don't know. Well, darling, I'm going to jump off here.
Yeah, I just wanted to come in and give a heads up on Trump because you were live when Air Force One left, so I
That's
didn't figure you
crazy,
knew.
though. Yeah, I didn't know. That's crazy. I really hope he's going to be okay. There's a lot of people that just can't beat this COVID, and it's actually,
It's scary,
yeah, for
for
sure.
sure.
My doctor that I had just died from COVID.
Oh
He had,
no.
yeah, he had pulmonary embolism, and it was because of the COVID. And he was healthy as can be, and it took him. And he's the doctor that got me sober. So I'm like, whoa,
Oh
this is
man.
crazy. Yeah, he's like an angel, man. He has helped save so many
Is
people
he an
from.
older doctor?
No, he was 47.
Oh my gosh, don't tell me that.
Yeah, his
Oh,
name was
that's
Dr. Misha and Chuck Misha, and yeah, he was an addictionologist, and I mean, he has saved so many lives. And to think that this took him just shocks me. I mean, I was floored. My husband is so upset over this. It's insane. I mean, yeah, I don't want to talk too much about it, but it's pretty
well, it
sad.
also makes you want to ask the question, was that really what he died of?
Yes, right.
Because of all the death certificates and stuff.
Oh,
You
and
know.
don't even get me started. Like his
Uh-huh.
wife is having him cremated. They're not having a service for him. It's insane. And
Oh,
she
so
runs
this
a
just
hospital.
happened.
Yes, this just
Oh my
happened a few
gosh,
days
I'm
ago.
so sorry, honey.
Oh, thank you. I was pretty upset when I found out because I really liked this guy, and my husband and him were pretty good friends. And so it was pretty hard. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you never think it's going to happen to someone and then it does, and you're like, whoa.
Right?
And he was healthy. He was a doctor. He was in shape. Only ate certain foods. He was healthy, and pulmonary embolism.
Ah, goodness. All right,
Yeah.
girlie. Well, I'll hop off here. I got to call my husband back. He's out
All
in town,
right.
so
Everybody sub up to Case Smalls. And what time are you going live tonight?
8:30.
8:30. Make sure
Yeah.
you're there. All
It's
right.
probably only going to be like a half an hour. I'll do my next because I forgot it was Friday, actually. And so a good friend of mine goes live at 9 every Friday. So I got to go over there.
Oh, you want to plug him real quick? I know who you're talking about.
Dabu.
Yes,
Yeah.
Dabu 7.
Yep.
The man.
Yep.
All right,
All righty.
darling. Thanks for jumping up here.
All
I'll
right.
be
No
over at your
problem.
channel when you go
All
live.
right. See
All
you
right.
later.
See you
Thanks,
later.
honey. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Well, you guys, yeah, I think I'm going to jump off here too. It's been fun. Thank you guys for listening to me and just, giving me the benefit of the doubt and not thrashing me too hard on things I say or things I believe in. And no, I'm not a flat earther, but I like to entertain it because it is kind of interesting. I mean, none of us really know what the shape of the earth is. We've never been up there to see it. So who knows? It could be hollow. Hell, it could be a square for all we know. I don't know. Oh, true helper. Hey,
Well, good evening.
good evening to you, sir. How are you tonight?
I'm okay. If I break up, I apologize because I am on the road right now.
Oh, okay.
But
Nice.
I figured I'd call in. I was digging you and Kay Smalls talking about the Giants and all that.
Oh gosh, we go way back and I that kind of stuff fascinates me, like old history that nobody really talks about, some people don't believe. That's the kind of things I'm really into. I find it quite intriguing.
Oh yeah, me too. Me too. I actually had a good quick story about that. We were on a job site many
Do
years ago.
tell.
Oh,
Hmm.
yes. We were on a job site many years ago, and sure enough, as we were digging around for the footings, and let's just say there was a whole lot of excavation work that went on, uh, we ended up finding a bunch of items that we couldn't quite understand. So,
Oh wow.
long story short, we somebody was an idiot and called the township. The township comes out, immediately gets white faced, and next
Oh
thing you
no.
know, we see about 4 or 5 government, and you could tell they were government issued vehicles. So
Hmm.
then all of a sudden we were told to leave the site. They would be in contact. And then, like 3 days later, we finally got the call. We went back over there. Everything that we had done, including and not limited to digging the footings and everything else, was almost like a clean slate. So we spoke to some neighbors that were around there. Here overnight, they had actually brought 2 flatbeds in with 2 huge backhoes, and they ended up they scoured everything. And they said they had up all these privacy walls and everything else. It was like, oh,
Yeah.
please tell me you got video of it. And
Right.
they even made sure. The one neighbor said that they were sending it around these agents that didn't even have any like letter, and there was no FBI, nothing like that. And they said they'd come around and they said that they are not to be involved in any way, shape, or form. They are not to be filmed. Like the whole 9 yards. It was crazy.
It
So
really is. There's so many things that have been found but not discussed because, the government doesn't want it out there. It's like they try to hide it, and it's a part of our history. I don't understand why certain things get hidden and why we're not allowed to know about certain things, you know?
you're, yep, you're absolutely right. Like, fact is for many of those people out there that think everything's just a conspiracy theory and all that, then
Hmm.
they obviously don't have an open mind. Because fact is humans have been on this planet for millions and millions of years. Who
Yes.
knows, possibly even longer. There's all kinds of evidence all around the world, and it's quite fascinating. It
They have
really
found
is.
artifacts that just goes beyond goes beyond our comprehension that we cannot explain. So it leaves you to wonder, like, what was it like eons and eons ago? You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
who knows how advanced this place was many, many, many millions of years ago? Nobody knows. So when we
Well,
do find things, it leaves people wondering.
absolutely. And I always tell people that naysay or cast shade or throw jokes out there. Look at things like the pyramids, like the Great
Hmm.
Sphinx. And we're finding pyramids that even predate the Egyptian pyramids. And oh boy, does that have their government all upside down and inside out.
Yep,
They're
they have
so
found pyramids on Mars. They have found what looks like to be pyramids on the moon. They find them everywhere, and they don't understand it. They don't know what it is or why it's there. It leaves
Well,
you wondering.
yeah, and but when you think about it and you put everything in contrast, or you really focus on our history, and you start to realize that our nation is only a few hundred years old, and then you try to start dating back the Chinese nation and all that. I mean, goes back probably several thousand years. But then before that, it's like everything was wiped away about 12,500 years ago, whatever the reset was. But
Yeah.
then they've even found that there has been a repetitive reset like that, like some kind of global catastrophe, be it floods, be it asteroids, be it whatever it is. Like look what took out the dinosaurs.
Hmm.
And then of course in the good book itself, there's I believe 2 separate floods that are listed in there. So when you think about something like that, and now in our human day and age, we find, or in our current society, we find all of this evidence, between unearthing the different layers and being able to tell where, say, that major meteor, meteor that hit the planet, or meteorite, I guess is technically referred to once it strikes the earth, but that it ended
Hmm.
the dinosaurs, and you find all these thick layers of burnt sediment and, sand that's been turned into glass and all that. It really makes you know that, when it happens fast, it happens quick, and
Yeah.
usually there's not, like, I know a lot of people right now for the past couple of months, I've heard all these stories on different channels talking about, oh, there's a bunch of meteors coming in, and oh, that's why everybody's going underground and all that. If you think about it, for about the past 10 years, at least every 2 years for the past 10 years, there's always some big major cataclysmic event that everybody's saying it's the end of the world.
Well, I mean, look at it now. Look how much money Trump has put into the Space Force, you
Yeah.
know? And
Mm.
that leaves you wondering, like, why? And look at all the asteroids that have been coming out, and look at all these new rocks that are about to hit us that NASA comes out with like 12 hours
Yeah.
before,
Yep.
asteroid, whatever, whatever. And,
I agree.
with Freemason, I am so intrigued by Freemasonry. My grandfather was a Freemason, and
Yeah.
once you reach a certain, what is it, 33rd degree, they
Yeah.
let you in
33rd
on
degree.
secrets, and I've
Mm-hmm.
always wanted to know what those were.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because the same was with my grandpappy. He was also a Freemason, and I tell you, it's a shame I didn't really know too much about it. I know, I
I
believe I'd
wish,
said it.
yeah, I wish I
He,
could have asked him. You know,
yeah, I mean, rumor had it, he was gonna, I guess, try to get us involved somehow. But when he had passed away, he was pretty old. But I'd come
yeah,
across all of the stuff that he had from being a Freemason. But
me
of
too. Yes,
just fascinating. It absolutely is. The only thing I couldn't come across is that I don't know what it is, the handbook or that the books that they use. I believe either his wifey, my grandma, or somebody
it's
had
like a
gotten to it.
Freemasonry Bible,
Yes.
basically.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I still have my
That's,
grandpa's. Yeah,
yeah, because he lived way up north, so it was quite a distance away. But it was it's fascinating, and I for a lot of people that throw shade against the Masons and so many other different
mm-hmm.
groups, I, I'd often tell people to think about how our society works and how fast things can be turned over and history can be, rewritten. You need to look about all the people tearing down these statues and everything else. And then you even go back as little as 40, 50, 60 years ago, and you look at these different wars that have literally changed certain nations. And when people start spreading rumors and all that stuff, history tends to change, and we don't even know of it. You know what I mean? In
Yeah.
many cases, until you really start doing the digging. And that's why I appreciate people like Case Smalls and many others
Oh,
out
I do
there.
too.
Rex from Leak Project, Diamond from Oppenheimer Ranch Project. I mean, there's so many different channels out there that really work hard at, just bringing some of our real history
I've
forward. So
known
that,
Rex for a long time. He is such a good guy.
oh yeah, so have I. Actually,
Yeah.
I've been with him for about a decade and friends with him
Mm-hmm.
just as long. You're right. And Christine and yeah, I tell you, they're really good souls. But so I'd always ask people just to try to hold up on just bashing, on different cultures and different organizations and all that until you really get to know exactly what they're all about. And even in today's date, I have really I don't know too much about the Freemasons, but I do know there is a very very sketchy history the government has put out. But then you start speaking with certain people, then all of a sudden, it kind of changes up a little bit, and you start thinking, well, maybe they weren't so bad after all. But yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to define your life. And I guess what I'm ultimately getting to is, just even with all this COVID crap and all the madness going on with the riots and looting and all that, it's very easy to just do a little bit of research. Diving down those kinds of rabbit holes can keep you occupied for a long time. So,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, my mind is like a sponge when it comes to stuff like that. Like I can't get enough of it. I love learning about history, and to this day I still believe that certain elites know what really has gone on with our history, and that it just they won't let it be known for whatever reason. I
Mhm.
don't know.
You're absolutely right, and the Smithsonian is one of the biggest hiders of our history,
Hmm.
and they have destroyed probably millions of years worth of it.
Yeah.
Meaning they
Can you
collect.
imagine what's down in the Vatican? Could you imagine? They have like aisles and aisles and aisles down deep of our history. And, we're never going to be allowed to know what's down there and what that really is. They have like this big vault,
Hmm.
with artifacts and everything else. And I'm like, wow, why can't we know about that? Like, what is it that's so bad that you guys want to keep it from us? That I'll never understand.
Well, it's not that it's so bad. It's just that they know they can
It
be
doesn't go with
made
their
to
narrative.
exactly.
Yeah.
I can remember being back in world history class and many others eh, decades ago when they would say that our civilization was only between 5 to 8,000 years old.
Hmm.
Well, ha ha ha, joke's on you. And I'll never forget when I started learning. It's about 30 years ago, I guess it was, and I know the official release was like a lot sooner, like the last 10 years. But they found those structures off the coast of Japan that had dated somewhere between 250 and 400,000 years old, and then immediately the Smithsonian and many archaeologists and stuff tried to say it was nonsense. But tell me, in what dimension are perfect 90-degree corners able to be made not only underwater but
Hmm.
so at that kind of depth and steps and the whole 9 yards. It's a whole entire city that's under there, and we're finding it all over the place. I love some of
Yes.
those shows on TV that really do the research into like some of those old paths in India and several other different things that they've uncovered. And they've really done really some amazing research on. It's
And
fascinating to me.
it's absolutely fascinating. Like, our governments worldwide want to put all this money into exploring space when we haven't even explored our oceans. We've only touched a fraction of our oceans. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Just imagine what all is down there. Nobody knows because we've never taken the time or the money to go and research it. So yeah.
absolutely.
And
I
just like
believe.
you was talking about the pyramids, I mean, they
Yeah,
still don't know how those pyramids were made, you
nah,
know?
nope. Not when we don't even have equipment today to move a lot of those stones. That is insane. But I
Yeah.
mean, hey, again, it goes back. It figures that they would try to hide, and they have hid a lot of that stuff because
Hmm.
again, they don't want to be made to look like fools because they know
Right.
they've spun this for so long. And they put everything on the television and all that good stuff. It's just, it truly
Absolutely.
is a shame. And I do believe that's part of the problem with a lot of our youth today. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but within many of the different school systems, they've really done their damnedest to teach a different version of history than
Hmm.
say you or I went through, and then not to mention the less than patriotic jackasses, pardon my French, that are in there trying to indoctrinate the kids to really think that we're just such a big old evil nation. But anyway, I don't know. There's truths all around us. It's up to us to really get out there and grab it up. It really is.
Hmm.
Discuss.
Absolutely. I like talking like this with you. This is interesting and it's
Mm,
so intriguing, and just the what ifs, or, you know, believing outside of the box, you know. And I don't believe what the governments are trying to teach our young kids about this world. I don't believe all of it, but I don't know.
Yeah, and again, and reiterating on it, it's they just don't want to be made to look like fools. But
Hmm.
but then again, they really did shoot themselves in the foot when they gave the power of technology, or I should say, they allowed the power of technology to be in everybody's pocket, in everybody's hands. So shame on them. But I encouraged my youngins when they were young to really look into history, and it's okay to ask what would sound like crazy questions. It really didn't matter to me, and it's kind of funny because I know, well, maybe not too many people know of the story of Enlil and Enoch, and
Oh yes.
Eniki, excuse me, Eniki, however the heck you say
Inky.
it. But anyway,
Yeah.
hmm some say they refer to them as the original creators. I mean, it just gets so wild when you do start diving down some of those rabbit
Rex
holes.
Rex
But
Bear, he's gotten into some of that. The Leap
yeah,
Project. He's
that's actually
Yep.
where I learned a lot of it from.
Yep.
And I tell you, I'll never forget the first time that I remember we were speaking about it. And he said he was going to do that kind of thing. And I did. I questioned it, and I was hesitant. And I'm like, no, I don't know. But when I was listening to it, the amount of research that he did, and he got on all of these really well-known, accomplished, and recognized historians and
Hmm.
archaeologists and all that have uncovered so many pieces to the puzzle. I was blown away, and he actually, semi changed my mind. I'm like, well, damn, because then you think about all the glyphs all around the world, all the messages that are hidden in plain sight, and then some of the monuments and structures that were built that you can only see from outer space, like some of I can't remember the Aztec, oh heck, Incan
Oh, the
drawings or whatever
Incas.
they are.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yep. There's huge things of like monkeys and I think a bat or a hawk or something like that. It absolutely blows your mind when you
Yeah, you
think
can
about it.
only see that from space. That's interesting. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yep. And I
Wow.
mean,
Yeah.
I know they still do or they offer some kind of sightseeing tour over there, but of course I think you got to be semi-rich or something. I don't
Hmm.
know. But
Well, I'll
yeah,
never see it.
yeah, I know. Me neither. Plus, I'm not really too fancy or keen on getting in any kind of airplane, especially nowadays. And
Yeah.
that's just,
It's been years since I've flown, and I just don't have the desire to fly. So,
yeah, I was going to say something about me and a big old metal tube
right.
and the thought of possibly being squoze like toothpaste is not really appealing. So no thanks, thanks, but no thanks. And then it would be my luck that I'd be stuck in or around like just a bunch of screaming and arguing people. Or you see a lot of these videos nowadays where, yeah, I don't know if you caught the one. It was actually even made the news where they these women were fighting on a plane. That would be my luck. I would be in the middle of
Oh
something like
gosh.
that.
Yeah, I missed that.
Yeah, oh yeah. It was yeah. Trust me, you're better off for have missed it. Missed it. So yeah, absolutely. So when are you and Brandon going to do another recovery care and addictions panel
Gosh,
or
I'd like to
podcast?
do it soon. He and I, our schedules have been so crazy, and it seems like whenever I'm home, he's not home, vice versa. The timing has just been off. But we were talking about it the other day, and we want to, do another recovery live again, hopefully
Mm.
soon. We was going to do it a few days ago, and then his colleague passed away, and my
Oh,
doctor. So,
I'm sorry to
yeah.
hear that.
Well,
Please relay my condolences to him.
thank you. I
That's
will. Yeah,
that
it
really is
was
sad.
it was it was shocking. This COVID has really gotten a hold of some people and, taken their lives, and even healthy people, which is even more scary. So,
Yeah,
yes.
it definitely has. You're 100% right about that. We've actually lost 7 people within our group, and it's
I'm
been
so
just
sorry.
insane. I appreciate that, but that's why we just have to. We got to just be kind to each other, and
Hmm.
that's why I also appreciate how you and Tracy are, stand up to the bullies, and you actually call people out for what they're doing, all that. Because the last thing that we need right now is people, especially dragging on addicts or calling
Yeah.
people names and all that stuff when they themselves know how difficult the struggle is, whether they can admit it to themselves or not. You know, it's
Absolutely. There's so
just
much hate in this world. Why add to it? Just stop. I mean, we can all get along if we want to, if we just try.
I agree. I agree 100%. But there are some out there, that do refer to themselves as the self-proclaimed Howard Sterns and all
Mm,
that good stuff. That just can't. They just can't give up or pass up that opportunity to just, make some drama happen. Or I just, no, no. Yeah. So be it. Whatever blows people hair back. But when like I think I've said, or wow, words are hard right now. I think I've heard it being said about throwing tomatoes, and that's well and fine, but when you start going real life as well, that's why there are. Oh,
it's just
actually,
gross and it's sad and it shows that you have no class, empathy, or respect for anyone when you can say certain things like that. It's
and
gross.
there's only a few people in this, in and around the community that I have zero respect for, and I never thought I'd really see the day where I felt that way. But it's unfortunate. But hey, we just got to keep holding them accountable, and that's why I thank you, I thank Tracy, I thank so many others that have really kept up that kind of fight, because otherwise they just get away with it and keep on
Yeah.
doing what they're doing.
And I say the same to you. I mean, you stand up for what's right. And, I'm so grateful that you're around because, people listen to you because they have a lot of respect for you. So I'm so grateful for you and, for Miss Kelly. She does great
Uh,
work as well. I really
uh,
like her.
I definitely thank you for that, and I'll definitely relay that. And I
Please
tell you,
do.
our work
Yeah.
is cut out for us, but I know, united, we're going to be able to do a lot of great things. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And
Yeah.
I know that united, we're going to get so many different things done. And just to, make sure that everybody knows nothing is dead in the water, nothing has been put off or anything like that. We're still working. We really are. And
Good.
I know, then you got to factor in our personal lives and everything else that you got going on, including and not limited to work. But
Hmm.
that's why I definitely you have Tawanda's information and stuff, right?
I do. Yes,
Okay,
I
well, because
love Tawanda. She's one of my favorite people. She's my YouTube mom.
yeah, nice. Well, definitely get my number from her,
I
and
will.
please do reach out, because I tell you what, I'm definitely interested in speaking with Brandon as well, because I believe we have a mutual acquaintance, a mutual friend that had reached out, and I did also want to thank you
Oh, okay.
for helping said individual, because as you may have already known, boy, that person has been put through the ringer by the
Yeah.
recovery care system, and it really
Yeah, I
sucks. And I'm just getting acclimated to, or well, not acclimated, but I'm getting educated about laws in different states, because it's just unbelievable to me that when somebody tries to reach out, in crisis, basically, in some of
mm,
these recovery care centers, they just kind of like just toss you off. But when
yeah.
you go to a state like New Jersey and Pennsylvania and Delaware, you can literally walk into almost any opiate recovery care outpatient clinic, and you can get immediate assistance. But
Well,
yet, in some of these other states that you would figure would be the first ones to help their population out, it's like they turn their back. I just
it's
don't.
sad. That's why Brandon left one of his last jobs because this person came in with his checkbook and said, "No, let me go back. A person needed to come in there and they was really bad off with drugs and they had Care Source, which is a government insurance. And they
Oh,
turned this
yeah.
person away. And then, just maybe a few hours later, somebody walks in with a checkbook and says, whatever you need. And they said, bring them on in. That is where
Oh,
the problem is.
wow. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
at that point. Now, see, it might sound a little odd, and I apologize if I'm coming off wrong, but that is actually a situation that I semi enjoy with certain people, because at least that gives me some meat and potatoes, so to speak,
Yeah. Yeah.
to
Yeah.
work
No, I
with.
get it.
And then I immediately go to the state, medical boards, and many of the state and federal
Hmm.
regulatory agencies, because a lot of these clinics seem to forget that they get the bulk of their budget from state and federal government, and
Yeah.
especially with the influx of a lot of these monies, since Trump has made it, is recognized. Been one of the first presidents that I can remember that has really been as gung-ho and has been as proactive as he's been. And there's been an influx of millions and millions of dollars, and I've seen recovery care centers opening up all over the place. But
Yep.
it seems like there's many facilities out there now that are just still either so far behind the times, or they just have these arbitrary and almost tyrannical rules that just don't make no sense. Like, you got to get release letters and all that stuff. And I've never heard of such a thing. I mean,
Oh, it's disgusting. Like, some places refuse to take Medicare because they only pay so often. They don't pay like regular insurances. It's just gross. It's all a money gamble.
yeah,
I don't even
yes.
like to talk about it. Brandon would be the one to talk to about this because he loves talking about stuff like this.
Oh, that's why, like I said before, I would
Yeah.
absolutely love. I'm sure we'd probably be speaking for hours about that, because there has been more than a few. Like, I've been in and around Indiana, and I've been through
Hmm.
several other states, fighting for different recovery care patients and people that I considered friends and sponsees, and even some fellow sponsors. But
Hmm.
again, like, there's a handful of states that are sprinkled around the United States that, for whatever reason, just, like you said, the story that you said earlier, it's moments like those. I kind of believe with many of them, that's what it's all about. And to me, it doesn't make
Unfortunately,
any,
yeah.
yeah, and to me, it doesn't even make sense, because, I mean, it really is as easy to just know that your typical recovery care center, if you walked in and had cash, as long as you had between $250 and $400 cash in many of the clinics, even up in New Jersey area and all that, you'd automatically get brought in and you'd be good to go. And then, of course, your follow-up appointments are between $100 and $150. And of course, but then if you're on some kind of Medicaid, Medicare, or wellness or
Hmm.
whatever, it's just unbelievable to me as to
It
how or
is.
why. Because they also charge the heck out of those insurances, and they make buku. It just really drives me insane. So yes, please do absolutely get my number from Tawanda, and
I will
yeah,
do that
I would
for sure.
absolutely love that, because I'd also like to start something down the road after we get caught up on a few projects and all that. I don't know. Maybe
I
just
know
start
Brandon would like that, because
it.
he found some of your comments that you was talking about in chat when we were live one day. He was like, I really like what that guy's saying. I said, oh, if you like this, you're gonna like talking to him for sure.
Absolutely. And if you happen to listen to this, hey, Brandon, I look forward to talking with you, definitely.
Yeah, he likes
I
to talk. He's a talker for sure.
Yeah, then, well, listen, let me just apologize beforehand, because I'm sure that I'll be taking up a decent amount of his time at first. But no, I definitely would appreciate that, because I just know that there's so many people out there that need help right now, and that really is
Yes,
one of my passions above all other passions. And I guess I get a lot of that from my mom. God rest her soul. I always had it in my brain that if I can help half the people by the time I leave this world that she did, I will consider myself fulfilled.
definitely
No
grateful
doubt.
to have people like you around for sure. And winter's coming, so these places are going to start filling up even more.
Oh
And
yeah, yep.
yeah,
Well, and we've already had it pretty bad as is, just because
hmm
of all the
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 epidemic and
pandemic stuff, and
yep.
people being out of work. And then, a lot of people don't even realize, I don't know why, but I've seen a little mini spike in some of these people that support some of the looting and the rioting and all that, and they try to call them civil protests, but they
Mm,
don't realize that all those businesses that they are burning down, it's already bad enough that now, with the new projected percentages, between 40 to 46% of those businesses weren't going to be able to reopen anyway, over something that is situation has been so mishandled, one of the biggest
yep.
mistakes in our country's history. But now, add insult to injury to those that say didn't have insurance, because, unlike, well, to really undo what people think they know, there is a good portion of businesses that don't have either insurance to begin with, or have adequate coverage, and now you've taken their life's work and it's destroyed, done. And now
Sad.
they too now have to close. I mean, there's been all kinds of stories on the mainstream
Oh,
media.
some small businesses around here where I live have shut down. They can't. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw. I think it was just in Minnesota, or Minneapolis, or Minnesota, excuse me, but where they They had two different bar owners, or one liquor store, the other had a bar, and both of them didn't have insurance, and they were done. And then, ironic part about that was I'm not even going to say their names, but they come out and said, well, good, they got insurance anyway and all that, to heck with them white people and all that. I'm like, first of all, isn't that the very definition of racist? And secondly, no, you dummies, because they were mostly black owned. So, really, what's it all for? So, anyway, I'm sorry to go off on that tangent, but I
No.
I just think that we can do better as a people. And before you start to ever lash out against somebody just because of their political ideology or who they decide to support and all that, remember at the end of the day that we are all God's children. And you know what? The only person that can judge us is, in fact, our divine, holy creator, and that is it.
Well
Nobody
said.
else.
Yep.
So when people want to sit back and start going at each other just because you have a Trump sign in your yard, or just because you have a Biden sign in your yard, or even if you're an independent, doesn't matter what the heck you are. I've never seen it so bad in our country to where you get almost persecuted before that type of political belief. It's almost dumbfounds me because, frankly, yeah, I've always semi-been into politics and stuff like that, but I could have never imagined in a million years, even as little as 10 to 12 years ago, if somebody had told me, yeah, people are going to lose their lives over their political beliefs and all that, I would have laughed in their faces. I'd be like, nope, not going to happen. And then now look, here we are. Guy gets called out
Right.
for a Trump supporter, someone that comes up and pops one right in the back of his head. Really? Yeah, because that's a brave thing to do. I'm sorry. It's disgusting. I just ask everybody, even if you get mad at somebody else, remember, we're all in this together. And it really is a hard time all around. There's a lot of people out of work. There's a lot of people that are starving. There's a lot of people stressing out so bad, having the gun sitting out on their damn counter and whatever else, wondering how they're going to, feed or support their family, and they just considering the easy way out, or others that resort to drug addiction or alcoholism. Just, just there's always a lot more to a person than what you see on the surface. And as far as this whole skin color thing goes, you know what? My mom raised me to look at people as they are, as people, not because they're black, Mexican, white. Just matter where you come from, or even what your religious beliefs are. You
I
do
was
on top.
raised that we all bleed red. It doesn't matter what
Yes.
color skin we have. We are still human beings, and that's what matters most.
Oh, well said. Well
Yeah.
said. Tell you, because really, I don't. It almost breaks my heart when I think about it. But then I guess this is kind of why I do what I do, or I try to do as much as humanly possible. And then I see
Very
other people
humble
out.
and very caring for others. And that is so, not everybody's like that. Not everybody is as caring as you. And I'm so grateful to know you because you do care so much. And you don't see that much anymore.
Oh, well, I thank you, and I greatly appreciate that. And likewise, so are you. And not to mention brave on top of it all, through
Thank you.
everything that you and Brandon have endured, and then even to catch the shade and the draggings and all that stuff. I mean, you've still kept the course. You stayed the course. You kept putting out your podcast, and you still stood up to others, even if they were just coming at you left, right, and center. And I highly admire that. I do appreciate that. And it really does give me hope for humanity. We're not all just a lost cause, because that's another thing for everybody to remember out there. When you do consider a lot of what's happening with the looting, and the riots, everything that's been happening in a negative, on a negative scale, they, they really do. They're not the majority, okay, first of all. And I am a firm believer in that, because there is such a huge silent majority out there that really wants this to be all over with and done and back to some kind of normal again. But unfortunately, many of them are, in fact, they're scared. They really are. Because
Yep.
believe it or not, it's only like maybe 1 in 1,000 are really ready to fight. The ones that will see somebody getting their ass whooped, pardon my French, and run over, and it doesn't matter how many people will just throw themselves in the center of it. There's not too many people like that out there. So but that doesn't mean that they're not brave in their own right. That doesn't mean they're not good people. They just they can't engage, and or they have issues or illnesses or ailments, or they're seniors or whatever the case is. But that's why I always say, if you see something, say something. And if you know you can make a difference in somebody's life that is having a hard time or difficulties, really, what is it to you, other than maybe a little bit of time, to just reach out and do something kind or say
Pay it
something nice?
forward.
Or worst case scenario, just like I love how some of my new friendships are blossoming and all that. Because up until about a year ago, I didn't even really know who Tawanda was, and here already, there's been one or two different people that she has referred to me that I have just been blessed over, and because
Isn't
I
she
know,
a gem? I
yes,
love
she is.
Tawanda. She's got such a kind soul. She really does. Her heart is huge. I love her so much. I don't know what I'd do without her, honestly.
Me
Yeah.
too. She really is. It's almost like she's been around the whole time, but yet we're just still so new in our friendship. But it's a good thought to have,
She's
and
a
nice.
lifelong friend too. She's one of those people that will be right by you, like all
Oh,
the
I can
time.
tell.
Yeah,
I can
I love
definitely
her.
tell. And with that being said, always keep that in mind, that even if you're not able to help, there are people like Tawanda out there,
Hmm.
or somebody that you can look up to, or you have respect for, or that can make a difference. That you just reach out and tell them and relay the person's name and try to get somebody else involved. You never know what's going on with somebody until you really start asking them questions, or you take the time to say, hey, what's wrong, other than just kind of stepping over them because they might be acting out or not acting themselves, or maybe they're getting drunk or high all the time. You're just like, oh, they're just a lost cause. I mean, would you want somebody doing that to you, just giving up, let alone to your kids? No.
Right.
So it's just the right thing to do, So
It is for
I'm
sure.
I'm
I
sorry to be
really thank
blabbing
you.
on.
Oh, no, no. I've got to get off here in a few minutes because I got to help my son get his meds and stuff. But I'm so glad that you came up to talk to me, and I really enjoyed this. And hopefully
Oh,
we
me
can
too.
do it again real soon. I like talking to you. You're very nice.
Absolutely, and I can't thank you enough, Sarah. It really has been just a blessing to me to be able to come up and speak with you. And now, like I said, at least I got to reach out to you directly
Yeah,
and say, yeah, definitely did get the number. And yeah, like I said, I'd definitely
I'll
love to
do
catch
that for
up with
sure.
y'all.
Yeah, I'll message Twanda here in a minute and I'll
All
get that.
right.
And I'd love to get you and Brandon talking. Oh my gosh, that will be interesting.
Absolutely, I agree. Because oh yeah, I'll explain some things later on. But all right, well,
Okay.
I would let you go. I'm surprised actually you've been able to hear me the whole time. I've been
Oh
driving
yeah.
the whole
Yeah,
time I've been
you
on
didn't
here.
cut out a bit.
Wow. Okay. Well, I guess it was worth switching up. I was with Sprint before, but changed up to somebody else here lately, and it
Oh,
was like,
I have
okay.
Sprint. They have terrible service where I'm at. Ugh.
Yeah, they've kind of gone downhill big time
Mm-hmm.
ever since them and T-Mobile, combined services, and everybody thought, oh my God, it's going to be the best thing since bread and butter.
Yeah,
But
it's
no,
not.
because they operate off of two totally different operating systems. So I can't
Mm-hmm.
remember all the technical parts of it. But anyway, so yeah, I look forward to it. And again, thank you for having me up. And I'm
Thanks for
sorry
coming up.
I couldn't reach out at all, but I'm sure there's plenty of people out there. And yeah, Pixie and Galway girl, I love yous. I was wanting to catch up with y'all too. I know
Galway
there's
girl, I love her.
lot of huge things in the future, and I am very excited, even through all this madness and sadness and aggravation that's been going on. And I believe I'd called it out on Kelly's channel the other night. I'd even put a challenge out there. Sooner or later, good old Grimace was going to get my focus, and I tell you what, she has it now. And I tell you, it's one thing I say, all ego aside. That's not where you want to be, because I do
Yeah,
focus, and I'm not going to take credit from anybody, but I'll just say that there's been more than a few people that we've already gotten off and away from certain different platforms and stuff like that.
good.
And
That's a good thing.
just do right, by others, and stop being such a jackass. Stop doxing. Stop doing all these nasty things. Stop just being a mean, evil person. And guess what? You won't have nothing to worry about. Just abide by the rules like everybody else does, and everything will be all right. That's all. But
Yep.
all right, here I go rambling on again. So thank you, Sarah. I appreciate
Thanks
it.
for coming up. Anytime. Yeah, I'll get your number from Tawanda and I'll be getting in touch.
All right. You have yourself a good night, and God bless
You have a
everyone.
good night and a good weekend. God bless you too. Thanks for coming up.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Texas Kim, honey, big prayers to you, my friend. I'm so sorry that you're going through what you're going through. For your mom and your in-law, everybody say a prayer for her. And Galway, I absolutely love and adore you. Hey, Puss in Boots. Yeah, this is like the longest live, I think, from rockin'. But I'm gonna jump off here. I gotta go get some stuff done for Dano and see what the old man's up to. He's probably over in the other room playing video games with his friends. So yeah. Thanks for coming to hang out with me. And Pixie, I love you long time. I don't know if you're still listening, but I love you dearly. Tracy, thank you for coming up. And Kay Smalls, I love you dearly, girl. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get off here. I'm getting kind of tired. Ooh, it does take a lot out of you to go live and hang out for a while. Ooh, this is all new to me. I'm not used to going live talking this long. I don't talk much. I don't know if anybody notices that about me, but I'm actually pretty quiet. So this is new for me. I like it. Don't get me wrong. It's all new. Okay, you guys, I'm going to jump off here, but I hope you all have a great night. And if I said anything to hurt you or offend you or piss you off even, I apologize. If I believe in something, I'm going to say it. If I disagree with something, I'm going to voice my opinion. That's just who I am. But I'm sorry if it offended anyone. I'm sorry if it made anyone mad. It's just how I feel. So with that being said, I'm going to jump off here. Everybody have a good night and a good weekend, and maybe I'll come live again in the next day or so. Talk to y'all later. Bye.